At last. Had a couple of weeks there where I wasn't so sure. Everything was pretty touch and go. But thankfully, we're here. It's Wednesday. This is the Captain's Log. Smiles have been found. Softball season is over. I have escaped from Kuwait after attacking that TV show host. So, here we are. We're back. And I got all the lights to prove it. That's right. We've got the Street Fighter display set up there. So, as per usual, I will move this screen so that I can see. Oh, there's people in here already. Excellent. There we go. Just talking third person the whole time. I should. Yeah. Finally, the captain's back. We got the captains in the lab here. Zombie, what's up? Adam Flynn, Joseph Miga, Bash Crash. Let's see. Harry Flynn, Khalil Ali, what's up? The quality looks like there's lag for me at least. Stuck on the buffering screen? No! Do not do. It's been difficult. Let's see. As long as this comes up, we may be onto something. Let me know if you can see me. I see the chat, which is nice. Will hell, biggest swerve of all time. That was it. That was my plan. Russo. Khalil Ali says we're good. Okay, well hopefully we're really good for everybody in here. Send Kimona out to strip while we wait. That's what I need. On my left says Harry Flynn. Well, there's been plenty of people running by me. What's on my left? You talking about the fantastic lights there? Yeah. I'm going to probably turn those off because now that I'm seeing them in there, it's a little distracting. But let's just hope for the best that the stream is working here. You get to see. Yeah, there we go. Everything we got going on here, hopefully, this is action-packed, this stream. So, let's see. It's telling me the stream is resumed. I can't tell if there's people in here right now or not, but we're still. See, the cap is back. It's working, but I'm lagging like crazy. Audio's. You see, damn it. Why? Why is it doing this to me? Zombie saying we're gone again. Let's see if we can't try this here. This is what happens when I try and do things that I've done I don't know how many dozens of times. Let's see. Change source. Camera. Let's look at these X-Men figures I got set up over here and see if it's going. Now it's back to zombie. What is going on with my internet and why is everything sucking? I have no answers for anybody. Well, geez, I tell you what. One of these days, I will get this stream going because it's showing me, like 1 frame per second. God, that's terrible. Damn it. The video stream is in 56K dial-up, but I can hear you perfectly in HD, which is weird. I don't know what's going on with this stream program lately. That's the problems I've had for the past couple of weeks were basically down to this. And here we go, it's like dying on me again. This is terrible. All we really need is the audio. Alright, well, we're going to go for a little while then with the audio, and we'll see what happens. Although I will say there's been like a thunderstorm here in the past, like pretty much every day for the past week. So that probably might have messed with it. I will say like a thunderstorm rolled through here like 25, 30 minutes ago. So who knows? Joseph Miga. I am still showing the X-Men picture. Let's see. Israel Mock, welcome. I used to watch you in middle school, and it's crazy because I've been a graduate for a year now, and I check in because I love the nostalgia. Well, I appreciate you checking in. I just wish there was a little bit more interesting stuff going on with this stream than lagging and horrible frame rate. But that said, I'm here chatting, hanging out. How did I like SmackDown? I didn't actually see SmackDown. I don't know what's going on with SmackDown to be able to tell you. Well, damn, I had a few things I wanted to show on the stream as far as like little video clips and things and that. So, of course, that would be exactly when my internet lags. It's not even my internet, though, because it's telling me I'm connected and everything is fine. So, I don't know what this is. All right, if it goes like this a little longer, we'll call it a night. And I hate to do it again. Damn it. How's everybody else doing so far? Bash, I did get your package in the mail today. It was awesome, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I wanted to show a little bit of that on the stream, but, as luck would have it, not happening. Let's see. Oh, shoot. We picked up the Ultimate Edition Bret Hart and Ronda Rousey figures on Ringside for cheap. The posability is incredible. Best looking figures yet. I hope they make more, like Vader, Sting, and Sid and Quang. Nice. That's awesome. I actually got to pick those up still. Last time I looked at Ringside, they were still pretty expensive. So if they're cheaper now, I'll definitely look up. Zombie says, what do I think about NXT moving to USA? That could be interesting. I mean, I think they're going to go pretty much head-to-head with AEW, right? Like, isn't that kind of what they're trying to do? Or they're running the same time slot? So I don't know. Like, I mean, as much as WWE wants to pretend like AEW doesn't affect them at all, like, they're definitely just trying to, like, steamroll them right away. So, who knows? Let's see. Petition for Quang. There you go. I went and saw Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark this past Sunday. It was alright. Did the books a lot of justice, in my opinion. Bash says, I got them both cheap because Brett's box was damaged. Oh, okay, nice. I love those deals where they get the damaged packaging, or like, I can't tell you like how many times I've like bought loose figures there for like $5, and it's just like a loose elite that they just have had sitting around that like nobody else wants to buy probably. So I'm like, okay. I wonder how many people even know to like look for those deals. Having a Wednesday night war, yeah, that could be interesting. I mean, like depending on how AEW does like fresh out the gate, I'd be curious. I mean, I'm not hugely knowledgeable on like NXT or AEW, so honestly it could go either way. Let's see, ARW Stop Motion says, I got Hardy Boys and an Orton Elite a couple days ago. Oh, that's awesome. Which Hardy Boys? The ringside ones? The Brood? Zombie Jericho said he believes Vince loves the competition. I don't doubt that for a second. Vince McMahon is like, he's nothing if he's not making his life like more interesting. I can picture him back there. It's like, get them on against NXT, damn it. As Goku would say as he meets someone new. Yo. As Goku would say. Yeah, I wonder. Joseph Mika with the. Yeah, it depends who's running NXT when it moves to USA. That's true. If Vince McMahon is going to try and be like hands-on with NXT, then you could expect like Roman Reigns to be like NXT champion. V1 Matt and Elite 67 Jeff. Oh, okay, nice. The SummerSlam Matt, is that the one? Elite 67. Okay, I'm trying to think if that's the same one I got. I can't remember exactly. BJ Palm, 1994, picked up the 80th Cap, Thor, and Iron Man the other day. Awesome. I got Thor, and I've seen the Iron Man. I do like it, but I'm waiting to see the Cap. I wanna see what he looks like. I know in person. From what I've seen of the Iron Man, it looks pretty good. So, I mean, Cap I just haven't seen yet. I did pick up, as you can, probably the only thing anybody can see on their screen, I did get that Marvel Legends Wendigo wave, as well as the Colossus and Juggernaut 2-pack there, which, honestly, I'm liking all these figures, except for Cannonball. Because why would they make this figure like this with no legs? Like, he's on this blast effect thing to make it look like he's blasting off. But the thing is, the effect isn't really that tall, so he's blasting off at about the same height as he would be just standing normally anyway. Plus, like, the upper body isn't even really that great. Like, his arms can't even be put all the way down to his sides because of the way his coat and his shoulders are. I don't know, man. Terrible. Meanwhile, Nightcrawler poses around great. Guardian is pretty decent as far as posing. Wolverine, you're not going to get too much restriction on Wolverine as far as the poses go. He's a good figure. Sinister is actually surprisingly posable for a guy his size. And then, Sasquatch, the Build-A-Figure, or not Sasquatch, I'm sorry, Wendigo, is built on the Sasquatch body with a few little modifications. But, yeah, he's a good figure. I do like him a lot. And then Colossus and Juggernaut, good 2-pack. I recommend it. Let's see. My man's got no legs. Yep, exactly. That's all that needs to be said. If you've seen that, then you know my exact gripes with the figure. Bash Crash. Oh, shoot. I also picked up the Mezco Ghostbusters set like 2 weeks ago on clearance at my local comic shop for $220. They're normally listed at $300. My first Mezcos. I have a love-hate with them. Oh, okay. First of all, it's a great price, down from $300 to $220. So I got to know, as your first Mezco 1/12 experience, what is it that you love and hate about them? Let's see, Ronald Van Donald. I got the Elite RVD last week, and I could not be happier. Considering how rare it is, I can't believe I got it. I didn't even pay for it. It was a trade. Well, that's awesome. I didn't realize it was so rare. But then again, I guess it makes sense, because that was the only one they ever made. Which is too bad, in a way, because RVD had so many cool-looking singlets that I would have figured like they could have made an entire Elite wave just based on him. But then they're just like, nah, not doing it. Wait a minute. Do I see a little better stream quality here? No, never mind. False alarm. My YouTube thing was just like, hey, it's better now. And I'm like, haha, it's not. ARW Stop Motion says, what is my favorite video I've ever made? That's a good question. Right now, oh, God, Batman vs. Terminator is probably up there. I really like how JWF Rite of Passage turned out. Godzilla Aftermath, the full movie, I don't know, if I was to pick a favorite, that would be rough. Yeah, Latoya, we've ran into technical issues, just like we have the last couple of weeks on this stream, but, people are saying there's audio, so I'm just going for what I can, right now. So, yeah, we got X-Men on the screen. Maybe that was the biggest swerve of all time. Yeah, that's it. It's really unfortunate they didn't make more of him. He had some great singlets. I have one of the basic ones that I actually really like, because they did a good job of the paint on the basic singlet that I got. And I saw there was also like a 2-pack that he was in with Rey Mysterio. That one looked really good too. There have been a couple basics, but yeah, only the one Elite. Let's see, I found a King Mabel in the wild, picked it up. Nice. Zombie, that's awesome. That Canadian gamer decided to watch Godzilla Dimension War and then get a notification that I'm live. Perfect. You see, I appreciate you checking it out. I just wish this stream was better, because I'm stuck on one picture because the video quality is not working for me. So everybody's just staring at these figures for the whole time. Let's see. Eddie Luna, what's going on? Okay, Bash, let's see. Love the attention to detail, the light-up proton packs, and the cloth jumpsuits. Hate they use the bootleg Ghostbusters logo. The head sculpts are hit and miss, and I had to glue an elbow pad after it tore. Oh, okay. So it's just minor little QC things on the stitching, I guess. I'm trying to think, what's the bootleg Ghostbusters logo? Because I only know the kind of the famous one as I look at the one I just got in the mail here today with the the big no smoking sign through the cartoon ghost. Unless you're talking about the other cartoon Ghostbusters where it was like that weird version that was like supposedly like the alternate toy line too that they had, like those bootleg guys. Oh, okay, the bootleg logo has no chin and a fatter gut, which is what Mezco used. Not a deal breaker, but still an odd choice. Okay, so it's not like the other Ghostbusters toy line from the 80s. It's more like an interactive podcast, Joseph Miga. Well, there we go. I mean, I'll take it. Oh, Latoya. Yeah, we got a lot that has happened here in the last couple days. How you been, bro? Been going on, man. Been trying to resurrect this stream. So, Spider-Man not in the MCU. This is, I guess, something that just happened yesterday or today. I couldn't tell you. But basically what has happened is Sony and Disney have ended their partnership for, like, as far as using Spider-Man in the MCU movies. Everybody I've seen on the internet, a lot of people are like blaming Sony for this when it's pretty much entirely Disney's fault from what I've read. Like Disney are the ones that are like, yeah, I know we have this agreement in place where we basically rent Spider-Man from you for these movies and you get a ton of money. But how about we change the agreement around and you don't get as much money? And naturally, Sony was just like, yeah, no, we don't want to do that. And I guess after that, like, I don't know if it was Disney that was unwilling to negotiate or that was unwilling to go back to their original agreement. I'm not sure. But basically they're saying now that, like, that agreement is over, like, and that Spider-Man's not going to be in MCU properties anymore. Or, well, movies, I should say. Because Sony does own the exclusive film rights, which is why we were able to get, like, the Spider-Verse movie last year and it had nothing to do with MCU or Marvel Studios. Which begs the question. Like, Marvel basically just set up Spider-Man after Far From Home to be like the second coming of Tony Stark, and it seemed like everything was going to be kind of like on his shoulders. And now what? He's just not going to be in the movies anymore? Disney screwed Disney. Yeah, exactly. I don't see, like, Zombie, I see Sony screwed themselves, but, like, I don't see where Sony screwed anybody because they were making a lot of money for, like, basically just renting their character out. Because by all means, the movie rights, as far as that is, like, concerned, Spider-Man belongs to Sony. He doesn't belong to Marvel. Which, I mean, right now, I guess, if you want to say they're losing money because somebody else is making movies that are getting them money and that's not happening anymore, I guess that, they could be losing money on that, but it's because of the failure of the PlayStation 1 Classic. Oh my god. Yeah. They should have just put better games. They should have put Spider-Man for PlayStation 1 on that Classic, and maybe then it would have been better. Disney screwed Disney. Yeah. That's all I kept thinking. I was like, see, this is very Montreal-ish, where, like, Marvel Studios just set up Spider-Man to be, like, the wave of the future, and then the rug got swept out from under him. It was like, well, why would you do that if you know there's a chance that you might not be able to rely on that? It's like, why would you keep Brett champion if you know he's on his way out the door? So, who knows? Let's see. The movies are going to suck now. Fahey had uncredited producing roles. He was overseeing both movies. Oh, Sony and Marvel, you mean? Thoughts on Wonder Woman being pregnant in the comics? This is new for me. I've actually just been catching up on my House of X and Powers of... I don't know if it's Powers of 10 or Powers of X, but I'm all caught up, and that's a fun story. But I haven't seen any DC in a while. Let's see. Sega Genesis Classic was sent to a ton of YouTubers with mixed reviews. I'm still getting it no matter what. Already pre-ordered through Amazon. It's funny you mention that, because I always just saw a... I think it was ThinkGeek or... Yeah, it was ThinkGeek near me put up a post on Instagram saying that you can go reserve it. So I may do that. I wonder what was the mixed reviews about? Was there something with the hardware, or was it like the choice of games? Because I thought the game selection was actually pretty solid. Let's see. Burnout Inc. I'm here. What's up? Back from vacation, but I'm at work, so I'll be listening and sadly not chatting. It's just as well, man, because the video part of this video stream has, like, crapped on me, so that's why people are just listening now, and we're not actually getting to look at anything, which kind of sucks, because I was going to show a little bit of video clips and stuff here tonight on some stuff I've been working on, but maybe if I get this working next week. Compare this to the Montreal Screwjob. Yeah, why sign Brett to a 20-year deal if you're going to lie and say you couldn't afford him, and then throw millions at Mike Tyson 2 months later? Yeah, what might have been. Do I remember Spider-Man from the PS1? Yeah, of course. I mean, I didn't actually have it. My friend had it, but I played a little bit of it. Eddie Luna, like your Juggernaut? Thanks. I actually like it better than the Build-A-Figure from a couple of years ago. I think they did a better job with the paint, and the helmet looks a little bit more accurate this time around. Let's see here. Swig of beer for the working man. Compare this to the Montreal Screwjob, yeah. I mean, everything that I don't like eventually gets compared to the Montreal Screwjob. Let's see. The main negatives were the 3-button controller instead of 6, and I guess some of the sound is still slightly off. Not like I'm going to notice, though. Alright. Because, I mean, the sound on the... was like the earlier, like, reproduction Segas that was, like, noticeably off. Even when you put in a cartridge, like... it worked on like the Retron system that plays all the different like SNES, Sega, like regular Nintendo. Like the sound on that seems perfect, but when you put it in that little like reproduction Sega, it was like, I don't know, it was like pitched too far down or something. I don't know. But yeah, a 6-button controller would be cool if they had certain games. I wonder if it's going to be like the Nintendo one where they actually have like, I don't think it was USB ports that they plugged into, but it was like little, they were like corded controllers that you can unplug and put in. So I wonder if they're going to make like a 6-button attachment. Let's see. Can you show off some of your female figures? Not because I'm a woman. One day. I could, yeah. I mean, I would have to make like a, I'd probably have to make a video about that, which wouldn't be so bad. I did actually shoot, as I mentioned before, I got the care package today from Bash, and I shot a little bit of the opening, of not so much the opening, but just what was in it for an upcoming Between the Frames. And so I'll have that. I'll have a couple different little behind-the-scenes things, one I'm working on for the next Between the Frames, as well as one or two little other ideas. So I don't know when I'm going to get around to actually like putting it all together, but soon, I hope. Let's see. Bash says, apparently Sega has a deal with another company to make and sell the 6-button controllers, which are officially licensed by them and are compatible with the new classic system. All right, well, there you go. And depending on how much the system actually retails for, buying an extra controller or two might not be the worst decision, actually. Zombie says, I have one of those AT games ones. I personally don't mind it. Yeah, I mean, the gameplay is all identical. It's just something is off with the sound that I've never been able to figure out why weren't they able to like capture it the way it was meant to be. I don't know. It's like they drop-tuned everything and just decided like, it's fine, even though it kind of sounds a little muddy. Let's see, what else do I have that I could... I mean, that's the worst part, is I have things nearby that I could have shown, but now all I gotta do is talk. I have the HD version of the AT games Genesis 2, which is the best version they released. The wireless controllers work quite nicely. Alright, that's awesome. I'm a bit late, says Baki, don't mind me. Well, hey, no problem at all. Don't mind me for not having any video besides just this picture of the X-Men figures on my shelf because, yeah, technical difficulties, man. Plagues on us all. But, yeah, this is what we get. When you were a kid, says Latoya, did people have a problem with female leads in Alien and Terminator? When I was a kid, not that I can really recall, because everybody was kind of like they just enjoyed the movies more at that point. There wasn't so much of this backlash anytime anything, like, I don't even want to say unusual, though, because it's not even like it's unusual, because you just listed 2 examples where it happened long before today. But no, I mean, the short answer is I don't think people had issues with it, because they played the types of characters who you would look at that movie and be like, oh yeah, okay, this character fits in here perfectly. Sarah Connor goes from being like kind of a, not like a damsel in distress, so to speak, but more like she's just like running for her life the entire first movie. And then by the second movie, she's like totally militant and like doomsday prepping and preparing for inevitably what she's going to happen. So like the same thing kind of happens with Ripley in Alien. Like she spends most of the movie like running away from the, like she's outsmarting it too. So she's not just like on the run constantly, but by Aliens, she's like prepared and she knows how to deal with this threat. So I don't know. People didn't really have any issues with it as far as I know. Let's see, try showing yourself again to see how it goes. I mean, it's going to still be poo-poo because it's telling me my streaming program is telling me that I have, let's see, 5 frames per second that it's working at right now. So, I don't know. Don't know why it would do this. But, yeah, this is just what I get to deal with. Well, it's showing me now like 6 frames per second, so good heavens. That's just high def right now. Bash Crash said, listen to your podcast with Burnout. Oh, with Burnout Inc. Nice. While at work a week or 2 ago. It was an entertaining listen. Yeah, it's always fun connecting and talking to Burnout Inc. He's, I mean, if he's still here listening, the, what was it, like the different video game discussions we had too about the wrestling games and stuff got me thinking about like how I just wish there was a new modern version of No Mercy. And I've said this before on the stream too, but like, it would just be so much better. Pick up and play. Just within a couple matches, you know how to play. Just give me something like that. Bash says, not sure how Edward Furlong will play John Connor as anything but a cracked out drunk in the new movie because he legit looks like a cracked out drunk. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things where, like, I mean, unless he pulled like a Macaulay Culkin and somehow has like gotten over all the crap that he's been dealt and is like in better shape than we perceive. I don't know. Like Macaulay Culkin's all over the place, and he seems like a weird guy, but doesn't seem like he's unhealthy anymore. Let's see. Easila82. Am I the only one who wants to see AJ Styles versus Undertaker in JWF? If not, that would be badass to see. That actually would be a pretty cool match, now that I'm thinking about it. Alien 3 was weird. It's like she was in prison, and everyone that was in Aliens died between movies. Yeah, still to this day, one of those things that people kind of have a problem with the franchise. Like, it's just one of those things that, like, the drop-off between the second and third movie, like, just made worse by that, I guess. Everybody was expecting, like, that the characters at the end of Aliens are like, okay, well, these are going to be the new characters going forward, and if there's another movie, then I'm sure they'll all be in it. And then they're just not at all. Let's see. Why did it seem like strong female characters are forced now, but not back in the Ripley-Sarah era? That's a good question. If I had to guess, my speculation would be that, like, right now, you have, like, so much accessibility to social media and things like that where everybody has an opinion. And the problem is, when you give everybody easy access to things, everybody will use it. And sometimes the people using it aren't always the smartest. So when they see something like, for example, like a Captain Marvel or a movie about a female superhero, they're going to just try and run it into the ground because maybe they don't like it for some reason. Whereas back then you didn't have it anymore. So there wasn't so much fan backlash to something that it wasn't perceived as being like out of place or like unrealistic or anything at that point. I don't know. That'd be my best guess. And it's the same that can apply to pretty much everything, that comes out where people have an issue with it. They're like, oh, I don't like it because this and this, and it's, politically leaning too far this way or that way. And it's just what people have decided they're going to have problems with. And there's really nothing anybody can do to convince them otherwise because bottom line is they're too stubborn. So, I don't know. Kendarius Dupree, why the heck are there ads on a live stream? See, why do I have ads but I don't have video? This is such a weird, terrible stream. I still can't believe David Fincher directed Alien 3. He hates it. I'm not surprised why. I will say the alien designs looked pretty good. I like the actual like alien in that movie. Like they call it the dog alien now, the NECA figure. Like he looks pretty good. Like not too far removed from the previous ones, but a couple little different details. Let's see, my dad's friend bought me some anime stuff from Japan. My favorite things are these two Naruto statues, says Baki. Nice, that's awesome. It's weird to me that Macaulay Culkin is like now 40. Yeah, I mean, that's... Wow, that's really weird to think about. Let's see. AVGN says, checks the Hitman heart in his newest video, and I marked the... Nice. I gotta check it out. Is it like one of the Let's Plays? A buddy of mine I went to school couldn't pronounce Macaulay Culkin, so he just... colonoscopy. This video is the Montreal Screwjob. It is. I came in with a contract thinking I was going to work, and then my hardware... So if I wind up punching my computer in the face by the end of the night, you're going to know why. Bash says, Hasbro got the new Ghostbusters license. I assume for the new movie. I was hoping for NECA, but I assume it would price out most younger fans. Oh, yeah, NECA would do a good job with those, but you might be right. But then again, Hasbro, I don't know if you've seen their Marvel Legends figures lately, but a lot of the, like the movie characters in particular, and the same with Star Wars too, if you want to look at their like 6-inch Black Series Star Wars figures, like a lot of the facial like painting that they use now, I don't know if it's like digitally or whatever it is, but it winds up looking pretty good. So hopefully they carry that forward to the Ghostbusters stuff and you get like accurate versions of the characters in the movies. That would be awesome. Nah, it's a regular AVGN video about some Chex Doom clone game. Wait, Chex Quest? I had that game, if that's the one I'm thinking of. You got like a spork, and you run around and you like basically fight cereal monsters. It literally came in boxes of Chex. It was like a 5-level CD-ROM. Oh my god, now I gotta watch this. Kendarius Dupree art. Unpopular opinion. 2 most overhyped films were Into the Spider-Verse and Hush. Well, I haven't seen Hush, but I wasn't a fan of what I did see from the clips, so I can't... Yeah, I mean, maybe that's true. But I liked Spider-Verse. I don't know that it was overhyped. I mean, I was told that it was going to be a really good movie, and I really enjoyed it, so I guess I can't necessarily say I thought it was overhyped. That's the game. Yeah. Okay, good. I'm definitely watching that then. An Alien Resurrection. Where do we begin with that? You try not to. But did I see that new NECA 2-pack with Green Lantern and the Predator? Yeah, I actually just saw the pictures of that today, and it looks pretty good. I like that they give you the 2 different head sculpts, too, so you can have Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart. And the yellow Lantern Core Predator looks actually like a pretty sweet design, so... I think that's a, New York Comic Con exclusive? So, looks pretty good. Let's see, Kendarius Dupree says, gotta know from a fellow fan, which Hasbro Wolverine figs are the best? Let's see, you can't go wrong with the Tiger Stripe one from the Apocalypse Wave, I think, last year. The brown costume one, they might be a little expensive now, but there's 2 versions. There was the Juggernaut Wave, and then there was like the retro carded one. Those 2 are my personal favorites. The new X-Force one is pretty nice. And, let's see. Those are probably my 3 favorites. I think it's a... Do I remember WWF WrestleMania Arcade? And do you want a remake with new WWE stars? Like the big arcadey one? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Or is that in your house? Because I know there was one where, like, Undertaker could, like, shoot ghosts and he would, like, pick up tombstones and throw them at his opponents. And it was kind of ridiculous. But I don't remember which one is which. Let me see what else I've got floating around here. Let's see, I was going to read a little bit of this, but I can save that for one of these days when the actual video is working. Let's see. Have I seen the Batman vs. Predator Batman figs? You get the removable armor and regular fig. Both are cool looking. I like the look of the armored one and the regular one. I don't know if I'm ever going to actually get them, but I do like how they look. I think they're definitely awesome, and they capture that early 90s to mid 90s Batman really well. Chikara has an action arcade game coming out? Really? That's awesome. Let's see. NECA had the Ghostbusters license for only 1 series 15 years ago. They released Stay Puft, Slimer, Gozer, and the Terror Dogs. That's it. I have the Stay Puft. They're insane expensive right now. That sucks because NECA, every now and then, their figures just skyrocket aftermarket prices, which means if you don't get them ahead of time, you're never gonna see them. That happens with some of the Mezco stuff too. So the earlier Mezco Hellboy figures, the comic book ones, they're really expensive now, and especially now that 1,000 Toys Hellboy is out, people want to go and fill in their old collection, the holes in their collection, I guess. But man, I can't afford that. Let's see, not tooting my horn, but I just ordered the NECA Ultimate Halloween 2 Michael Myers. He'll look great next to my Freddy vs. Jason Voorhees. That's awesome. Nice. Apparently there's a new deathmatch game coming out in the vein of the backyard wrestling games. Huh. That could be cool if it's customizable at all. Gamer Lagia 13. I don't know how to say that exactly, but hey. Did I ever get the Batman vs. Alien or Batman vs. Predator comic? I've read one of the Batman vs. Predator comics. I think the same one that the toys are based on. And there was a Superman vs. Aliens one that I read. So, which might actually be what the NECA 2-pack is named after. Let's see. They released info on the Much Republic figures and the Super 7 New Japan figs. They're both going to be 6-inch and compatible with WWE Elite. Ray Phoenix pics are online. Oh, okay. That's awesome. I knew they were going to do something that was at least, somewhat comparable, though. because like they're isolating their own audience by doing it. Like people who would normally collect them, they want to be able to like set up their fantasy matches or whatever. So I'm glad they made that choice. That's really cool. Bash says, "Do I have any Mezco figures? I can't recall. And how do you feel about them?" I have a couple. Yeah, I've used in some of the animation on here, like the Batman versus Terminator was a Mezco Batman. The Batman that went around slapping people was a Mezco Batman. And I have like one or two other ones. I do like them, but they're limited in what you can really do with them. Like they look kind of out of place unless you're with other Mezco figures. But that said, I do like the cloth clothes that look. If they're done well, they look good, and the ones I got, I think, are done well. There's some Mezco figures where, like, if you look at them, you're like, I don't know where they came up with this design for this costume, but it doesn't look anything like anything I would want this character wearing. So, yeah, I've only got a couple. I do like them, but I'm not like a heavy Mezco collector. Right now, I think there's one that I have on pre-order, and it's Cable from, it's like the blue and yellow X-Men version of Cable. And it was supposed to be out in June, and I still haven't heard anything about it, so God only knows. He's referring to the WrestleMania arcade when Undertaker shot tombstones. Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, I do remember that. Forgot that Batman figure was Mezco. Yeah, I mean, I like that Batman figure because, like, the proportions are good and, like, the costume looks just like the comic book costume, so that works for me. But then, like, there's some of the figures you look at and you're like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. Like, I don't know, like the Cyclops figures they've got coming out, for example. Like, there's just something off about them. Joe Omega 89 Mezco Batman. I'm waiting to see that like in person before I commit to buying it because the pictures haven't really. I don't know. There's something about the pictures hasn't really impressed me too much. And Zombie says the Mezco Punisher is insane. Yeah, that is definitely true. Anybody see the McFarlane MK figs or pre-order? I pre-ordered both. Nice. Okay. I did see pictures of Sub-Zero, and he looks really good. I haven't seen any pictures of Scorpion yet, besides at San Diego Comic-Con when they actually had him set up. But I'm down. Let's see, Kendarius Dupree. I'm digging the new Mortal Kombat game. Now Spawn and Terminator are part of the DLC. Take my money. Exactly. I mean, I was not sure I was going to be sold on, like, some of the DLC characters. Like, the Joker I'm still not 100% on board with, but Terminator looks awesome. Spawn is going to be fun to play, I'm sure. And even just the Mortal Kombat characters. Like, Sindel. I've always liked Sindel's character. What else? Nightwolf just came out, and he's okay. I don't mind Nightwolf. Like, I've never been, like, somebody who picks Nightwolf. But Shang Tsung and Sindel are two characters that I always used to like playing as, so I really like Shang Tsung now in the new one, and I'm sure Sindel I'll give a try. Hopefully I like her. Joseph Miga says, don't I have one of the Wolverine Mezco figures? Yeah, the Tiger Stripe one. Which, again, I like it, but he just looks out of place unless you have him with other Mezco figures. And it's not like I have like tons of other Mezco figures. Like, my roommate actually has Old Man Logan, which is a great figure. And, as a matter of fact, he actually has Darkseid as well, which is another really cool figure. But, like, when I get Cable, I might put him and Wolverine together somewhere, just because, you know, they're both X-Men characters, and aesthetically they look good together. Remember the Spawn movie from the late 90s? Oh, I remember. Let's see. If anyone plans on getting the WWE Ghostbusters figures, I would recommend getting the WrestleMania 27 Elite Coffee in his Slimer attire, where you can still find them for cheap. I picked them up last week for $12. Elite Kofi in his Slimer attire. Alright, that's cool. I didn't even know they made that. The Joker looks like Heath Ledger, but in comic Joker's suit. He does have kind of like that weird face paint application. Like, to me, it doesn't look so much like the Joker as it looks like some guy dressed as the Joker. But somebody on my Instagram today pointed out, they're like, yeah, it's pretty interesting that Warner Brothers decided to put Terminator and Joker in this game when they're both getting new movies, like, in the next couple months. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, in that Spawn movie, Angela had a cameo in it? If she did, I don't remember it. I barely remember seeing that movie, though. Like, I was young. I remember John Leguizamo being Clown. I remember Spawn flipping and continuing to shoot his machine gun when he was like flipping and facing the wrong direction, because why not? I remember him healing and just saying "damn," and I remember like so much garbage in that movie. I gotta watch it again. Let's see. Gojira fan, howdy, bro. Hello, what's going on? Sorry we don't have a video to accompany the stream tonight, but this is what happens. What are your thoughts on the new King of the Ring tournament that's happening right now? I have no thoughts because I don't know what's happening. So, is it interesting? Is it anything beyond like normal King of the Ring type stuff? Considering the reference in the game, I wonder if Batman and Superman are going to be future DLC. I don't know. I mean, I'd be surprised if they had Batman in a game with fatalities, because I don't think Warner Brothers would go for that, because Batman, by his nature, just isn't a killer. So, I don't know. She was the redhead in the ballroom during the party. She had the Spawn emblem earring. Okay. So the next time I watch this movie, I'll take a look out for that. So much build up for that Spawn movie at the time, only for it to go out like an egg fart. Let's see. I guess forgot to be your old wrestling company. I can bring it back, JWF. Victor Hicks. I mean, JWF it's around. I'm not doing anything with it right this very minute, but yeah, it's still around. But yeah, that Spawn movie. I remember like Toy Fair magazine at the time, or Wizard, or one of those. They had like all the interviews with the cast and everything. Like this was gonna be like some be all end all movie, and they had their own series of like movie Spawn figures, like because they were still running the regular figures at the time too. But then there was the movie ones where they had like, yeah, was it like Martin Sheen as the bad guy, and they had Spawn and like so much stuff. Todd McFarlane animated a music video for Pearl Jam once. Nice. I don't think I knew that. Joseph Miga says, wasn't there a Spawn figure from years ago that came with a giant cross? Yeah, it was like a big cathedral ornament or something. Like, it looks pretty good. I've not been pleased with Joker's face in both Injustice games or in Mortal Kombat. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, they make him look a little bit too stylized. Like, I wasn't even a big fan of how he looked in the Arkham games. Like, I thought he was okay, but a lot of the designs in the Arkham games, like, aren't my favorites. But the games are so much fun, so I just overlooked that. Just imagining what Goku's fatalities would be in a Mortal Kombat. Let's see. Bash. I had that old 90s Violator figure and thought it was the coolest thing ever at the time. I did like the designs of Violator especially. Like, he had that long, like, lower jaw that, like, hung all the way down to the floor. This big... Let's see. I wonder if Angela could be part of the MCU. I know she's part of the Guardians. I think at this point she probably could. That's another one of those weird things where, like, she was a Spawn character and then Marvel got the rights to her somehow, and now she's like an Asgardian character. Like, I'm not not even sure. Marcus Muller, nice figures. Love your channel. Well, thank you. I mean, I wish I could show a little more than these figures, but we've had our video issues, I should say. Spawn isn't really a character I'm familiar with, just small things. Spawn, like, I wouldn't call myself a fan. Like, I've seen the movie. I remember the HBO cartoon, and I've seen some episodes of that. And, like, I never really flipped through any of his comics. I never, like, bought too many of his toys or anything like that, because I didn't know who the characters were. I just remember a couple of them from, like, the movie here and there. But, I mean, at the time, Toy Biz and Kenner were making, like, the superhero figures. And then along comes McFarlane, where they're all, like, super, like, detailed and everything. And for their time, they were, like, so much better than a lot of the Toy Biz stuff that was out. But then it became like the detailed statues where it was like, yeah, you might get 2 points of articulation out of this thing. I just know small things. Victor Hicks. WWE 2K20 versus WWE 2K19. Will there even be a difference? Like, I don't think there will be much difference, honestly. Swig of beer for the working man. Bash says, did we talk about the Batman Beyond complete set Blu-ray release coming out this fall? I don't think we did. and it also includes Return of the Joker movie. See, that's gonna be worth it. I remember I tried to watch, I think, Batman Beyond on Netflix. This is a couple of years ago now, and it was good stuff. I never got around to finishing it, but I have seen the Return of the Joker movie like years ago. But a Blu-ray release of that, especially if they get like some special features on there, that'd be awesome. Kendarius Dupree, just imagine having a Batman series animated like the Spawn HBO series. Oh, you mean like that kind of dark tone to it? Like a more mature themed one? That could be really cool. Like, I'm surprised, like, with Warner's like DC streaming service that they have now, where like they have like pretty much everything you could ever want. I'm kind of surprised that they don't actually have something like that going on. Joseph Miga, like those movie Maniac figures looked great, but you just couldn't really do anything with them. Yeah, I mean, exactly. I have, let's see, the McFarlane King Kong, the old one, and he looks great, but he's only ever going to be in like one pose, because if you try and move his arms, like the way they cut the arms, like it's going to look stupid if you try and move them, so you might as well just leave him in the pose he's already in. And like some of those early movie Maniac figures they looked cool, like just to pop them on a shelf too. But again, can't move them. Angela joined Marvel from the original Sin story. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna have to actually like do some research then, because there's a lot of Marvel stuff I missed over the years. Like some of it I've kind of absorbed through osmosis, where I just know a little bit about why things happened, but. Joseph Miga, and they couldn't get the license to Arnold or Bill Paxton. Oh, McFarlane, yeah. That's why my Terminator movie Maniac is like missing his face. Like they just have like the metal skeleton underneath it, but no sign of any kind of Arnold likeness at all. Oh well, what are you gonna do? I wonder. Yeah, I kind of wonder how they got some of the likenesses, but not others. Maybe New Line Cinema is a little bit easier to get a hold of some of the likeness rights, like Freddy and Jason and all that kind of stuff. When you think about it, those were kind of like the originators of like where NECA went, where like now they're doing like their ultimate horror movie figures for like every movie. Like we probably wouldn't have had stuff like that without McFarlane doing them first. I want a Bill Paxton figure from the movie Twister. Yeah, I want one from Frailty, where he's got his demon killing basement. Victor Hicks said, did I see the new Godzilla movie? Yeah, I really liked it. I want to check it out again at some point soon. Hopefully. When it comes out on Blu-ray, maybe I can pick it up. Zombie said something about too much time travel, screwing up the multiverse. Then she appeared in the last page of the story. I think it was actually Age of Ultron where she debuted. Oh, okay. Nice. Thoughts on Thor 4? Was that Love and War or something? Love and something. I know it has a subtitle. I mean, I'll probably see it. I liked Ragnarok a lot. I didn't really care for the first two movies, but I think Marvel's figured out what direction they want to go with Thor, so hopefully if this one is anything like that, it'll be interesting. I don't know if I'm ready for Natalie Portman to be like a lead in a superhero movie, because I just don't think she has the interest to do that, but, you know, Disney's throwing a giant pile of money at her, so who knows? We'll see what happens. Let's see. As much as I like drawing Batman with his face showing, the coolest Batman shots are when you just see his eyes and barely any of his chin. Yeah, he's like had so many different artists do different interpretations, and how like cool he looks is based on like how much light and shadow they want to use, and how much like different little techniques they can go with. And like I think it's cool, especially when you get like him looking almost supernatural in a way. I love that. Mezco had a horror license for a little while. Oh, wait, did they? I feel like you're right, and I can't think of it. Because I know Mezco had their... It was like... Oh, not animated, but like kind of exaggerated looking figures for like Miami Vice, and I think Big Lebowski also. And obviously Hellboy. Mezco had the Hellboy movie and comic book rights for a long time. I've still never seen the second Thor. Nice. Gwyneth Paltrow gave an interview where she said that she didn't know Samuel L. Jackson was in any of the same Marvel movies as her. That doesn't surprise me. Like, the way they shoot those movies, like, you have no idea who's actually on set with anybody. That, and she's another one that I get the impression she doesn't really necessarily care about these movies. She's just getting paid, so she's like, whatever, I'll show up. Now you got me thinking, though. Like, was she ever on screen with Nick Fury? Like, ever? Huh. I know she's talked to Coulson in a lot of the earlier movies. I mean, there's the last scene in Endgame where everybody's at the funeral, but, that's not... That was obviously just kind of, like, slapped together. Batman with or without armor? I mean, I just prefer his regular classic costume. My favorite is probably, like, the early 90s one. Like, where it's drawn to look like blue and gray. He has a yellow bat logo. Well, a yellow oval around the bat. And, I don't know. I've just always liked that one. Zombie said, I read today that Bane killed Alfred in the comics. Really? Huh. I mean, DC's got to do something to compete with this House of X, I guess. But what's going on? Like, it's called City of Bane, right? That's like the last story I remember seeing on the shelf. Batman with no prep, just his usual armament, versus Juggernaut. That's... I mean, if Batman can get away from Juggernaut, that's going to be his best thing. Because Juggernaut is not like a... Like, he's not just like a super, like, big, strong guy. Like, he's literally like a force of nature because he's got that crystal that gives him all this, like, ungodly power. So, yeah, Batman just needs to not be in the way. Let's see. Kendarius Dupree. I honestly prefer without armor because there's nothing scarier than knowing there's an almost supernatural dude dressed in a creepy cloak. And even without armor or high tech is unstoppable. Yeah, I mean, I do like that he has his utility belt for, like, his gadgets and his different tech, but I like on the animated series where his tech is basically just like some smoke pellets, like a rope, a batarang, and like a grappling hook, and that's like pretty much what he needs. Could Angela be in the end credits scene in Thor 4? If they go in that direction, I mean, I don't see why she wouldn't. Bash says, I know dick about modern comics. The last I bought was the TMNT Ghostbusters crossover. Apparently Batman had a crossover with TMNT too. Yeah. The first one was actually pretty good. Like, it wasn't groundbreaking or anything, but it was a fun story. And I think there have been one or two since, actually, which I didn't read. But yeah, TMNT, there have been tons of these crossovers. Like, there's been like a Power Rangers and Turtles one, I think. I want to say there's like Transformers and G.I. Joe ones. There's like all kinds of these crossovers going on right now. Comic Monster Studios. Hi, Catherine. I have the blue DCUC Batman. Should I get Deathstroke or Deadshot next? It just depends on which character you like. If you can find Deathstroke, I like him. He's a good figure. But Deadshot's also a good figure. So, I mean, basically it's up to you. Bash says, I did find that Ecto-1 Transformer through GameStop and picked it up. Apparently that's a comic series too. Oh, really? Okay. Ghostbusters and Transformers? Huh. Well... You learn something new every day. Batman would just grab one of his many Justice League busters offhand because we all know he got, 76 of them? Yeah, I guess. Joseph Miga, probably the most recent thing I've read was White Knight and found it very interesting. Let's see. Yeah, White Knight. I remember, I didn't read that, but I was watching Comics Explained, like, go through the story. And that concept was really cool to me. Like, I like that idea. So, I think they're doing a follow-up right now, maybe. Or if they're not doing it yet, I think I've read that one is coming. So that should be cool to see, like, how they follow that story up. Plus, explosions in the belt. Drop that son of a gun into the sewer, then run away. Yeah, just let him... just be like... Have him job him out like he did to the guy in Batman Returns. Give him a little smile. Thanks, man. Well, no problem. And thank you, I mean, to everybody in the chat for sticking around during these horrible technical difficulties that I've now found myself having every week. But hey, at least I got the chance to do something here tonight on the internet. I tell you what, man. I know I need a new computer at some point soon, but I didn't realize my streaming program was going to do all this nonsense with me, too. So we'll take a couple bit more comments here and call it a night. Wish I could have shown some of the videos I had planned here. The AOL Time Warner merger. That's it, yeah. See, that's the problem. I wasn't supposed to stream again for a little while, but I decided to sit at home and make money on my AOL contract. But instead, I came over prematurely. They told me I was going to be stalking The Undertaker's wife, and this is what I get. YouTube screw job. Yeah. Then Bruce pays to have the street fixed. Because he would have to. He wouldn't want that property damage. He'd be like, oh no, it's going to look bad if I don't. It's Infinite Crisis. God, let me think. Infinite Crisis, was that the last one they did, or was that Identity Crisis? The one where Batman dies at the end. Spoiler alert for a 10 or 12-year-old comic now, but yeah, where he fights Darkseid and Darkseid hits him with Omega beams. Honestly, the stories that followed that, where Dick Grayson was Batman and Damian Wayne was Robin, I thought those were great stories. So, I guess I'm not mad. You take off your motorcycle helmet. Cap's internet feed got jumped by 16 Marines outside a bar. Yeah, basically. That's what happened here in Syracuse, New York. Oh, I'm about 2.5 hours south. But, if there's enough, they'll come here. They'll find me. Well, I think it's time to call it in. Thank you once again for everybody who's stopped in here tonight. I wish, wish I could actually throw up the Vader Time logo, but you'll have to trust that I'm doing it. And we will hopefully, without any kind of garbage going on, hopefully catch you next week. Same Vader Time, same Captain channel. My name is Captain McKay, and we'll catch you in the next one, if there's no trouble.